I just wanted to hear the song first, right? That's why I'm kind of warming up here. Well, let me tell you something. I did have the information that I said I was going to have for you on Friday at exactly the time that I said I was going to have it. However, the reason why I did not go live was because I was having a little conflict within myself in terms of having you to understand exactly what this is all about. And maybe I'm thinking clarity and you're not thinking clarity. So let me explain. I am NJ. I am the person who is the producer and the creator of The Evening Drive Home with NJ. And the purpose of The Evening Drive Home, besides keeping you company on your route to your destination after work, is to let you know some of the things that are happening in the news. I have a news background, I have a media background. All right, so I wanted you to have a couple of insights and certain things that are happening throughout the day while you were busy at work and I was busy perusing the internet. So I had a couple of issues that I wanted to talk about: food security, food insecurity. I also wanted to talk about some of the cyber things. Now, for transparency's sake, and for those who are a little confused about, well, what's going on here, this particular segment, the evening drive home, is really designed to expand on whatever it is that I speak about in terms of public relations, media, cyber, cyber insights, cybersecurity, and you slash wellness. You. Now, that's on Mondays at 7 o'clock a.m. So Friday, 7 o'clock p.m. Now, that's for clarity's sake on that side of the fence. But the main thing that I wanted you to understand also is because I don't want to lose you in the sauce. Okay. And somebody mentioned that to me. So I'm saying, well, let me double back and see if everybody's on the same page. I actually also provided an email address, which is the evening drive. It's really the evening dot drive dot home at gmail.com. So that's the evening dot drive dot home at gmail.com. Now, the reason for that is because that's the official email address for this particular show. And if there's any comments that you'd like to pass on to me, please feel free to do so. And if you would like to also know where the podcast is on Monday mornings, I will provide you that link via the email that you send to me. So that's number one. But now, number two is this. So, the issue that I wanted to talk about on Friday was all this heavy stuff that was happening at Davos and the president of Argentina, and he's coming forward and he was stating some of the things that were concerning food security, food insecurity, and so much more. But I didn't want you to feel that you had a hard day today, and here it is, I'm bringing something forward. So and this is my transparency to let you understand that that's where my head rolls. I think of things like that because they're interesting, and I feel that there are those who are in the business of knowing, those who are business owners might be interested in finding out some of the things that are happening at this particular time in life. Now, how did I arrive there? Well, I'm coming to you straight from a webinar, and the webinar was with Dr. Sonia Stribling. And I thought about what she was saying in that particular webinar, and I said, well, let me just change things around here a little bit for my listeners and people who are following me. And I thank you all that have been doing so. I really, really thank you all. But I wanted to be transparent. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is brain science. Now, it's not that heavy, but it is that heavy. I didn't want to go in depth on brain science because that's not my field, but it's my curiosity. But I wanted to show you some of the things that are being done concerning that and show you where on YouTube you can go and find out that very same information. And it's legit because it's coming on YouTube. And these are definitely people that know what they're talking about. This gentleman's name is Dr. James Giordano. And this particular video that I'm making mention of is called "The Brain is the Battlefield of the Future." I mean, that's profound. As a business owner, that's profound. But as a person, now this is the you portion. As a person who has family, some kind of family, even if it's not immediate family, you have family, or you know people that have family, and you want to keep them abreast of some of the things that they need to become cognizant about, become very aware of. So that's one of the issues. And there are things involved with that, such as cyber inform informatics, neurocyber informatics. Let me bring this over here so I can see without turning away from you. I also wanted to share with you some of the information about neurocognizant manipulation. You know, that was just in his particular area, but I found it to be interesting. Then the other thing was, I don't know what happened with the algorithms today with me. All of a sudden, they just decided to bombard me with things that might be of interest, and they were of interest. That's really where the brain is the battlefield comes into, because they definitely share with you a lot of information. So if you have the time, definitely go to YouTube and look this up. And as I said to you a minute ago, his name is Dr. James Giordano. And the topic is the brain is the battlefield of the future. It's the only one out there on this particular one. There was another piece that I was watching earlier that was the U.S. Space Force. U.S. Space Force. So when they said that we were stepping into 2024, they weren't kidding. They meant that the whole platform is changing. We are definitely going more Star Wars, Star Trek, Galactica, some of the others. We're going there. We're actually stepping into that arena because we're talking about the U.S. Space Force. And this particular piece was also on YouTube, and it was coming from Quantum World. And the topic is the U.S. Space Force alarming statement, 2022, 2 years ago, and the potential catastrophe. Really? Did you know anything about that? Now, some people might have, but did you really know anything about that? And then there was another one that was happening too. And I was saying to myself, I said, wow, there's so much going on. So now going back to the whole situation where we're talking about food security and then food insecurities, we can also talk about the United Nations and their report called 2030. We can also look on Forbes and find out, well, who owns the land here in the United States? One of the, as far as a foreign country is concerned, China and Canada are big buyers, landowners here in the United States, but they're not the only ones. As far as coming from right here is concerned, we have three at the top that I can remember right now. Leading the pack, Bill Gates. I think it's 252,000 acres of land. And then you have Ted Turner and Jeff Bezos. Interesting, because you can't talk about food insecurity and you have people that are owning that much land. So where does the farmer come in at? And there's so many other questions that aren't involved with that, and I'm quite sure that you have questions about, well, how does that really work out? And they're talking about food securities. I will list them inside my report if you really want to know about it. I would list them at the bottom, different places where you can go and do your own research. But I just found it to be interesting because, as I understand that, a lot of the small farmers are losing their land. They're losing it not only because of one reason, but for other reasons. There are different reasons that are involved. So where are we really standing? Where's the transparency? Is there transparency? Where's the accountability? Is there any accountability? Where is the opportunity to at least be able to sit still and say to yourself, where can I get the information from to go forward? Because this is now pertaining to you, not only as a business person, not only as a parent, not only as the head of your legacy, but also as a person who has to navigate through all of this. You're navigating through it. You have to understand how to do that. So I'm not going to belabor this point. I'm just saying to you, this is the reason why on Friday at 7:00 with my first show that I did not send up, I did not link it out, I did not publish it, as they say. I did not do any of that. I sat back and I said, wow, how do I explain this to people? How do I get them to understand that I'm very sincere about what it is that I'm doing? But I also need you to understand how I think. So, my coaching side, I coach people on media, how to handle the media, how to sit in front of the camera, how to talk to the camera, how to do that, all of that stuff. I've been doing that for 40 plus years. Not a problem. Okay. Producing, directing, in front of the camera, behind the camera, it's all there. And it all comes out and it's love. The other aspect to me is the cyber side. Always been fascinated with technology, obviously. But this time, I'm fascinated with cybersecurity and its impact, its risk management, all those things, the information, the analytics. I mean, there's a lot involved with that. And how does it impact us? And especially now that we are definitely talking about space. Because when I heard US Space Force, I said, my, they're talking about the various levels of space. They're going deep on this. And it's not just a game. And there's a movie that I suggest that you watch as far as that's concerned, and that's called Ender's Game. There's Harrison Ford is involved with that, but the person who wrote the book is Scott Card. He has three names, Scott Card something. All right. And his book was called Ender's Game, and he wrote it back in the 1980s. Long time ago for some people, not very long ago for others. So I hope that brings a little clarity to you. Yes, I'm a person that has a lot of different interests. Yes, I'm a person who, even though it sounds like it's a lot, I stay in my lanes. Yes, I am a writer. However, when I write children's books. Okay. And publish. All right. But when I am doing this type of writing, like my different shows, I'm really focusing on how can I help you to understand where we are at this particular point in time. Hold your interest with where we are and also help you to navigate through that. But the other side of me is also saying, I'm a coach and I want to be able to coach those who are in their business, small businesses. I'm talking about women of color, 45 plus, 1 to 5 year old businesses. Now, I say that in particular because, and there goes my English, I think it's going out the window. Anyway, particularly because I just came from a meeting yesterday and I love the group that I was with, but I was listening to these topics, and these were businesswomen. They were young businesswomen. The topic of discussion was about the baby, even though they did speak about business, because the lecturer was very good. She spoke about business and the different things that are happening in the business world and bringing, ironically enough, bringing the you portion of yourself into the business and how do you balance all of that. I thought that was an interesting thought. I don't see how you could separate it. But anyway, so when I was sitting there listening to that, I said, yeah, I have to let people understand. I'm not for everybody. I am totally not for everybody. But what I am for are those who are interested in finding out what's going on. I believe that this is my fourth reincarnation for those who understand that. So I don't have time to really play. And I feel that the people who are really understanding where we are at this particular point in time, how important it is for us to focus, and for those who have the gifts and the talents to come forward, to step up to the plate and move forward. Because there's a lot of people who don't want to participate. They want to sit on the side and they just want to watch. Let them sit on the side and let them watch. It's okay. But for those of you who have things, have an objective, and have a guidance and a direction, it's time for us to step to the plate and move forward. Some of you I can guide. That's where the coaching is coming from. Some of you, maybe not. So I say all of that to say to you, on Friday evenings, the evening drive home with NJ, that's me, 7 o'clock p.m. And now that we have an understanding, now I can move forward feeling quite comfortable with the whole concept and the idea of, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. I like you. You like me. We can move on from there. We can have a lot of fun. And as soon as I really get some music, anybody knows any? No. Does anybody know where there are any copyright license, all of the free that has good music? Give me a shout out. Or you can also send the information to, let me see, the evening dot drive dot home with NJ. Remember to create the reality that you truly do desire, not one that you don't. Watch what you say, watch what you think about, thoughts of things. Give yourself the respect and the confidence to know that you can do what you're here to do. And it's your turn, my turn. It's all about turns. We're stepping into a new year. This is 2024, and they're not kidding. And I think you should neither. It's been a pleasure. Ciao, everybody.